Tonight, the shocking extent of the stabbing spree that stretches from the capital to Peterborough. After 10 people were stabbed on a London-bound train, police link suspect Anthony Williams to another attack on the same day on the DLR. One victim told us his story.
He said, "Do you want to die?" About 3 times he shouted.
We'll have the latest on the investigation and the increased police presence at our stations also tonight. A thief with expensive tastes avoids jail for stealing £24,000 worth of top-shelf wine. After representing England 6 times in the ring, one boxer's fight for a passport to do the same on the world stage. And
it's goodbye Halloween and hello Christmas! The lights are on Oxford Street, and alongside these stars, I'll be talking to the star who turned them on.
Good evening. As a member of rail staff fights for his life in hospital after a stabbing spree on a London-bound service, more details about the alleged attacker have been revealed. Hours before 10 people were stabbed on a train from Doncaster to London's King's Cross on Saturday, it's alleged that 32-year-old Anthony Williams attacked a man on the DLR at Pontoon Dock Station. He's been charged with 11 counts of attempted murder. Police have said 3 other knife-related incidents are also being investigated. With the latest, here's our correspondent, Simon Harris.
Stephen will need plastic surgery to save his fingers. On Saturday, he was heading home to Wimbledon from a football match when he tried to stop a man with a knife on a London-bound express.
And he said, "Do you want to die?" About 3 times he shouted. And so then I grabbed his arm, and I think that is when, like, my hand and stuff got caught up with the blade and stuff, because it's sharp. It's like a sword type of thing, you know.
Huntingdon Station was still a crime scene today. Police searched the track for clues after Saturday's mass stabbing. But as police charged a 32-year-old man, Anthony Williams, with 11 counts of attempted murder, it emerged one of the alleged victims wasn't attacked on the train, but more than 60 miles away in East London. Hours before the train stabbings, there was a knife attack on a DLR train as it approached Pontoon Dock Station. The police have disclosed only the barest of details, in part because Williams has now been charged. But what we have been told is that around 1:45 on Saturday morning, British Transport Police officers were alerted to reports of an attack on a DLR train. When they arrived here at Pontoon Dock, they found a victim with facial injuries. The alleged attacker had disappeared. Molly was on the DLR train and saw what happened next.
I actually watched one man swagger out of the station, again with the same sort of purposeful walk, and it took me a second to realise, but I realised that that was the man that had just been stabbing everybody. And he just sort of strode out of the station.
At King's Cross today, armed police were patrolling the station. This is where the LNER train should have ended its journey on Saturday night. More than 1 million people arrive in London by train on a normal weekday, many of them commuters. Some admitted they were nervous about the threat of a knife attack, even taking precautions.
I did today, yeah, sat next to the toilet just in case. I'm more wary, yeah, I'm more wary of other people around me.
I felt nervous today, first time on the train since I heard about it, so I was conscious of other people on the train.
I think it's a random attack and these things happen and you've just got to get on with it.
Tonight, police in Cambridgeshire are investigating a possible link with a man pictured with a knife in a barber's shop on Friday. Anthony Williams was remanded in custody by magistrates until his next court appearance.
Now, Simon's live for us at King's Cross now. Simon, what's the government's response to the incident?
Ronke, the authorities were quick to rule out terrorism as a motive for the train stabbings, but this has nevertheless focused attention on how vulnerable train passengers might be, essentially trapped on a fast-moving vehicle, unable to open the locked doors, let alone get off, and perhaps the best chance of escape to lock themselves in the toilet. Well, in the Commons this afternoon, the Home Secretary had this to say.
I know that ideas have already been suggested about how policing should change in response to this event. Once the facts are known, we must examine what more might have been done to stop this horrific attack from ever occurring. and whether there are measures that we must now take to better protect the public on our streets and on our trains.
Push them in like that.
Perfect, thank you.
CCTV cameras at railway stations and facial recognition cameras, but almost certainly not airline-style X-rays, which are regarded as impractical on the railways. Ronke.
OK, Simon, thank you very much. Thank you. The inquest into the death of a 40-year-old man who was shot by police in Dagenham opened today. In 2023, Gedros Yassivevos had reportedly called 999 and told the operator he had loaded guns and wanted to take his own life. Well, Kath Apata is here for us now. What's alleged to have happened when officers responded to that call?
Yeah, so we're getting more details now. When I first covered this shooting, it was quite scant, but now we know some facts, we know more information. The man who was shot was Gedros Vasileios. We heard how he suffered from alcoholism and tried to take his own life in 2021. In terms of the night of the shooting itself, the jury were told that Gedros had dialed 999, seemingly drunk, expressing suicidal thoughts. Like you said, he told the call handler that he had 2 guns and wanted to be shot by the police. However, he did later clarify that the guns were fake, not real. Moving forward to the moment where he was shot, he came out of his gun holding what appeared to be a black handgun. He pointed one of his seemingly black handgun at the armed officer MY78, who then in response fired 2 shots, one of which proved fatal. The guns Gedros had were later examined and were found to be fake. Pistols, as a matter of fact.
And we also heard from the family today, didn't we?
We did indeed. There was quite an emotional moment when his daughter stood up in court, weeping, tears in her eyes, and told the court what a funny man her father was. She recounted a story where Gedros had asked, "What do you want for dinner?" She said, "I don't know." In response, when she came down for dinner, there was a table laid out, plate. On that table was a note saying, "I don't know." Nice detail there. Ronke, this is only day 1. Lots more to learn over the course of 4 weeks.
OK, Kath, we'll be hearing from you again, no doubt. Thank you. Campaigners have launched a legal challenge at the High Court against plans to add a second runway at Gatwick Airport. The £2.2 billion project will see the airport move its emergency runway 12 metres north, enabling it to be used for departures of narrow-bodied planes. The privately funded scheme got the go-ahead in September. A tuk-tuk driver who brazenly stole more than £20,000 worth of wine from restaurants has avoided jail. Julio Kubula was caught on CCTV raiding cellars and appeared to be picky over the bottles he was about to make off with. Some of the businesses targeted by Kubula have said the sentence has left them feeling vulnerable. Carolyn Sim reports.
As he rifles through the wine cellar, it looks like Julio Kubola is shopping. But this is a stealing spree, and he's taking only the finest vintage. He hauls a wheelie bin filled with 75 bottles worth around £23,000 through the Piazza Italiana restaurant. Outside, there's no getaway car. He loads his loot into the back of his pedicab. Under a week later, he's back, this time taking just 3 bottles. But on his 3rd break-in, there's an alarm, and he leaves empty-handed. The restaurant is one of 3 Kubola targeted earlier this year. But today in court, he was given a 20-month suspended sentence with 12 months rehabilitation.
I mean, he's effectively escaped jail.
Yeah, it's just shocking, and it just gives us the uncertainty that basically he could come back anytime in the near future, and it doesn't help us at all. It doesn't give the reassurance that we are safe.
During his raid of another restaurant, the Oliveto, Kubola takes his time, looking at each label. In court, he'd claimed he'd been employed by the restaurants, but they hadn't paid him. But that was a lie.
We never seen him. We don't know him. He never been here. But, you know, was very, very strange the fact that was in here and he was very comfortable in doing what he was doing. He picked the 400, 500, 600 pounds wines.
I'm arresting you on suspicion of burglary.
Kubola was arrested by pure chance when an officer recognised him in the street. Later, when the police asked him what he intended to do with the stolen wine, he told an officer, "The wine is to drink, no?"
During sentencing, Kobola acknowledged that he had a problem with drinking, and he promised his defence lawyer it wouldn't be a problem in the future.
When he pleaded guilty to the 6 burglaries, Kobola said he'd give everything he'd stolen back. 32 unopened bottles have so far been retrieved by a man with refined taste but criminal behaviour. Carolyn Sim, ITV News.
Still to come on the programme. Off the pitch and into production, the former Spurs goalie having a go at filmmaking. And
who turned on the Oxford Street Christmas lights? Well, here's a clue. Sometimes the snow comes down in June and the devil wears Prada.
But first, after being trafficked to the UK as a child and kept as a modern slave, Bilal Fawaz says getting into boxing saved his life. As a teenager without parental guidance, Bilal found himself in dangerous situations. He was stabbed 25 times and still bears the scars of gunshots. He took the fire inside him and channeled it into sport and has since represented England 6 times. But he says an ongoing fight with the Home Office over getting a passport means his career could come to a premature end. Antoine Allen went to meet him.
I'm proud of myself, but this is a fraction compared to how much prouder that I could be. I want to make Britain proud. I am British. My family is British. My kids are British. My partner is British. But I don't even have a passport.
Bilal Fawaz shocked even himself to become English welterweight champion. The boxer is used to fighting to get closer to his world title dream, but to reach that he must first gain a British passport. The 37-year-old is in the battle against the Home Office and Father Time.
You're fighting much younger boxers, but you're winning. What's your secret?
The will to survive. The desire that you want more out of life.
Before entering a boxing gym in Harrow, Bilal was born in Nigeria to a Lebanese father. But at age 14, he was trafficked to the UK. He says he was soon abandoned. In the boxing gym, he found structure, purpose and success. As an amateur, he represented England 6 times. But his immigration status meant when he turned 18, he faced deportation. For 24 years, he's been in a battle with the Home Office to secure a British passport. In 2020, he gained the right to remain, which allowed him to finally become a professional boxer and earn a living to support his family.
I have a limited time left in me as a sports person. I'm 37. People retire at 37. The Home Office gave me a 10-year route to settlement. By the time that 10 years has reached, I can't fight anymore. So they're stealing my dreams again.
Bilal says neither Nigeria or Lebanon recognise him as a citizen, meaning without a British passport, he won't be able to fulfil his potential in the ring by fighting overseas.
If I cannot travel outside England, how can I achieve being a world champion? Why can't they take this 10 years that they want me to wait and extract it from the 24 years that I've been here? And that could justify all the time that they have taken away from me.
You showed so much joy when you won the English title. Just how much emotion will you show if you're able to be given the British passport?
It will touch my heart so deeply that I will burst into tears. And it wouldn't be tears of pain, which I've always had. It would be tears of joy.
The Home Office told ITV News they cannot comment on individual cases. Bilal Fawaz hopes the more people that see his fight to gain a passport, the better chance someone in government will help bring a positive end to a story filled with struggle and perseverance. Antoine Allen, ITV News.
Next, to Britain's biggest ever bank heist. In 1990, a courier was mugged at night point for almost £300 million in bearer bonds. It was staged to look like a street robbery when in fact it was orchestrated by a crime syndicate, which reportedly included the IRA, Colombian drugs cartels, and the New York Mafia. Marcel Theroux has been delving into the story for a documentary. Before we talk to him, let's have a look.
This heist is the stuff of legend, the world's biggest ever robbery. This is an astonishing robbery. £292 million was stolen in a matter of seconds.
That is a lot of money to be in criminal hands.
This is the unbelievable true story of the biggest robbery you've never heard of.
Now, welcome to the programme. Do you know what? I had a look. £300 million in 1990 would be £850 million today.
An absolute fortune.
An absolute fortune. But what is a bearer bond?
So a bearer bond is basically a fancy IOU. And I sometimes think that's one of the reasons the case isn't more widely known, because it hasn't got a big glamorous set of jewels or gold bullion at the heart of it. It's got these bits of paper. And someone who was shown them on the day of the theft said they look like swimming certificates. They look like what you get for swimming 100 metres in a pool. And he was shown a folder of them by the robber who'd stole them, and there were 301, £292 million worth. But essentially they functioned like money. If you took, in theory, you could take them to a bank and put them in your bank account, but the criminals who stole them found it was a little harder than that to monetize
it always is, isn't it, to get rid of things. So tell me, the mugging itself was carried out by one man, a sort of small-time crook from South London?
Well, yes, we're not 100% sure. I spoke to some people who are friends of him. He was a guy called Patrick Thomas, and sadly he died a year later in murky circumstances, which may or may not be connected to his role in the robbery. And initially it was thought that it was an opportunist theft, that someone had just happened to mug someone who was carrying £292 million in bearer bonds. It quickly became clear that that wasn't the case, and that there were people behind it, and that poor Patrick Thomas, I think, was the patsy.
He was bumped off.
There was an open verdict at the inquest, and I spoke to the detective who investigated his death. He said it was his suicide, but two of his friends who I spoke to said it was no such thing. So that's one of the very murky things about this case.
Well, you spoke to Keith Cheeseman. Now, he's the international fraudster. Who was the only one that served time.
Well, that's what Keith's story. Keith is very self-mythologizing. He's very flamboyant. One of his claims to fame is that he was owner of Dunstable Football Club in the 1970s, and he signed George Best, which was an incredible thing for this tiny club to have one of the most famous footballers in the world come and play for them. So Keith dined out on that for a long time.
But he also, I'm going to interrupt you, because you also asked him about the person that actually committed the crime.
That's right. I wanted to, and Keith has got a lot. Keith has a very interesting take on it. According to Keith, it wasn't £292 million. It was more. He maintains that the sums was bigger, and he alludes to this kind of a shadowy Mr. Big, who was the ultimate figure behind it, and is a man that he's so far refused to identify.
So tell me, when is the documentary on?
It's on tonight. It airs for the first time on Crime and Investigation at 9, but it's subsequently available on Catch Up.
I, for one, will be watching.
Thank you.
I will. Thank you. Now, there may still be pumpkins in some shop windows, but central London has already moved on to the next big holiday. Christmas may still be 52 days away, but the lights on Oxford Street have already officially been switched on. And Sally's there with the TV legend and West End star who had the honour of lighting up the famous shopping street. Sally, who is it?
It is Vanessa Williams,
Hello.
who's behind one of my favourite songs, Save the Best for Last, which I sing at least once a week.
Do you really?
Yes, in the studio.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and from The Devil Wears Prada, a West End legend. Vanessa, shall we part ways and let them see your magic work?
We shall. Let's do it.
Look at this.
Dun, dun, dun.
She's done a great job. And did you have to, like, you know, push a button?
There was a proper button, and I did a
Did you feel
countdown
the
from
power?
10. Yes, countdown from 10 all the way to 0, and boom, it worked.
Lovely. And you're doing it with Great Ormond Street as well, so tying in that charity, which is very special.
It was wonderful.
How much do you love Christmas?
Oh, it's amazing. It's lovely to start it, and the streets are packed already.
Yeah.
And we have some Christmas weather, I think. It's a bit chilly on the top of John Lewis right now.
I know, I'm meant to be telling everyone it's really mild, but come up here to John Lewis and it's really cold. I'm sorry about that.
No.
But you look amazing. In
Thank
fact,
you.
I've just noticed you've gone with Christmassy colours.
Yes.
I was a bit slow off the mark there. Sorry, Vanessa.
No,
So let's talk about The Devil Wears Prada, because you're in the West End.
I'm right down the street.
Yeah.
Literally on Oxford and Tottenham Court Road in the Dominion Theatre, and we do 8 shows a week. It is incredible. It's an experience. Many come all dressed up.
Oh, do
Oh,
they?
yes. Dressed up, cocktails. They are ready to see fashion and a wonderful show.
That's amazing. And I've just noticed you extended your stay until
Yeah.
April, so you can all come and see Vanessa. And how does it work in the West End with Christmas? Because I was looking at the dates, trying to book tickets, and you've only got 2 days off, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So what do you
That's
do
it.
for Christmas when you're in London?
I will be here, and I will probably cook a delicious roast. Probably, I don't know, but I haven't gotten a turkey here, but turkey or chicken.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I have 4 children and 1 grandson, so we'll see who ends up coming over and enjoying it with me.
Oh, how lovely. I was going to say, because you are the queen of Christmas, because you have done not 1, but 2 beautiful Christmas albums.
Thank
so you
you.
must be used to getting ready for Christmas really early.
Yeah.
Is this too early for you, or are you all over it?
I love it. I love it. It's never too early for Christmas.
And will you bring Thanksgiving to Christmas to London as well? Will you like get your your co-stars doing a bit of Thanksgiving?
I don't know whether I should do that or not. I mean,
Yes.
I can.
Add it in. Halloween, fireworks night, Thanksgiving. I mean, the more
I'll have
the
to do
merrier.
my cooking. I got to do a great mac and cheese. We do sweet potato pie, of course, turkey, which is incredible. And so we'll see. And garlic mashed potatoes with truffle. Yum.
Oh my, with truffle, that sounds amazing.
Mhm.
And any highlights, your favourite place in London at Christmas? Because it's your 2nd year here, isn't it?
What will I do?
In 5 seconds.
My favorite is actually the Broadwick Hotel. They've got a great thing on 7th floor called
we're
Flute.
Going, we're
very,
going.
very
But
posh.
first, here's the weather. Thanks, Vanessa. We'll see you there.
Come rain or shine, Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Hello again, a very good evening to you. I hope you had a super Monday, a super start to the week. Bit cloudy, the odd cheeky shower, but the weather isn't too bad over the next few days. Fairly dry, some rain around at times, still a bit breezy and fairly cloudy, but the main talking point is the temperature. It's mild. Take a look at this next chart and you can see that at times this week we will be about 6 degrees above average for the time of year. And if I just show you the pressure chart as well, you can see that low pressure is never too far away, but here in the southeast, we're not getting the worst of those fronts coming through. So we might not be too bad in terms of rain. It could change a bit on Friday, but still a few days off, and we'll keep an eye on it. So let's take you into the detail. So for tonight, mostly, not 100% guaranteed, but mostly dry. By the end of the night, those temperatures really won't have dropped down that much, so it's going to be pretty mild. We're comfortably up into double figures. So as we head into tomorrow morning, it won't be a chilly start. You'll probably notice that. Quite a lot of cloud around, fairly dry for a lot of the day, probably the best of any potential but not guaranteed brightness the further east you are. To the west, that's where you've got a higher chance of catching the odd bit of rain. But like I said, there's lots of dry weather in the mix. Temperatures reaching highs of 15, 16 degrees, a degree down on today, but is a little less breezy, although there is still some wind around at times. Into the late afternoon and evening, that's when you've got a slightly higher chance of seeing a bit of rain as it makes its way eastwards across London. So you might want an umbrella if you're heading out later on in the day. So for the outlook, as you can see, it's not too bad. Quite a lot of cloud, mostly dry, touch of rain at times, brighter at others. There we go, I'm hedging my bets, aren't I? And the temperature's staying fairly mild throughout. That's it from me, from the gorgeous lights. Have a fabulous evening. I'll see you later. Cheerio.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Finally this evening, 6 months ago, he soaked up the Tottenham victory parade after helping Spurs win the Europa League. But now, at just 27 years old, goalkeeper Alfie Whiteman has hung up his gloves for a surprising career change. An avid photographer and not-so-secret film buff, Alfie has joined a production company to make his mark in a very different field. Rags Martel went to meet him at his new gig.
There's no real strict schedule.
Heading to his new job after walking away from football.
How hard was that decision? But it wasn't something that I just sort of was like, you know what, I've never thought about this before. I was very aware that football was a short career, and it was great to work with some of the best players in the world. But then I kind of just came to terms with it. I wasn't fulfilled with what I was doing. So I just was like, I gotta go for it. This is like a self-shot film.
Going for it meant this, swapping football for film after playing for Spurs since he was 9.
I remember going around to tell my parents, and it was like, oh, you know, and also the boyhood dream and stuff. And I'm sure, you know, I haven't really looked at anything that's being said, but I'm sure people are like, what is footballer? It's like the best thing.
Alfie Whiteman has been described as the most interesting footballer you've never heard of, with interests in film, photography and music.
Did you feel like slightly different to the rest of the team?
Yeah, I guess so. My teammates, when we were a bit younger, used to call me a hippie. That was like that was the definition. But yeah, football's it's very insular. It's such a bubble. Hence why I think this stereotype exists of you know, the washbag culture, the love for golf and stuff. Because, you know, when I was younger anyway, there really wasn't much room to be anything else. You're not really allowed to. It was seen as a distraction. Stepping outside of that norm was tricky.
So this is your new office? Alfie's career change has been getting lots of attention as players often struggle after the final whistle.
Even players who have had great careers just being lost. And it doesn't matter how much money you have and everything, because if you're not fulfilled or feel you have somewhat of some purpose, it's, you know, what's the point?
Strangely, a short film about toe wrestling got him noticed as an upcoming director and on the books of the prestigious production company Some Such.
Do you miss Tottenham? Do you miss being in goal?
Maybe not like so much yet. I think the excitement of this new thing is really, you know, is really strong. Like, I've had a lot of offers from my friends on Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday nights, Power League.
What, 5-a-side?
5-a-side, 7-a-side. So yeah, I'm looking forward to making the decision of which one of my friends' teams I'm going to go play for.
Alfie's found life after football, and it's all perfectly in focus. Rex Martel, ITV News.
Oh, we wish him all the very best of luck. And that's it from us. The evening news is next with Gamal, and I'll be back with the late news after news at 10. But for now, from all of us on the London team, enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.